Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from AnthonysCustoms, and for this review, we are looking at the SH Figuarts PIKACHU. I know a lot of people have been excited for this figure. I was pretty excited for it also. It's nice to round out the Pokemon collection with a Pikachu, because it's Pikachu. Who doesn't want a Pikachu figure? It's from SH Figuarts, so it's gotta be good, right? I don't know. Not so much. This is very reminiscent of the Mario debacle. So we're going to get the figure off the stand and just take a look at it, because there's not much you can see from it just spinning around. I need to show you and explain to you. I'm going to explain you something. So we're going to do that. Let's get him off the stand. This guy stands roughly 3¼ inches to the top of his head. If you include his ears, almost 4¼ depending on how you have him posed, which makes him just about 8½ to 10½ centimeters. Generally speaking, it's not a bad looking figure, except for the things that are really bad looking. And what I mean by that is they added this articulation to the guy that really just doesn't look good. This thing in the chest, I could have gotten away with it if it worked well. It doesn't work well, therefore the ugliness of it is a problem. Same thing with the shoulders and the hands. I mean, those hands just look really goofy. That does not look good at all. Same thing with the legs. We have these weird little pegs sticking down for the feet to connect to. It totally destroys the look of the figure. It's just not good. And then the same thing goes for the tail in a kind of a different way, but the way they worked the articulation into the tail, it's just not good. I don't get it. I don't know what they were doing, but we're going to talk about it. So, accessories. This is not the face that he comes with in the package, on him anyway. That's his angry face, which I think most of you are going to use for your Smash display. Then we get a smiley, happy face. Very similar other than the slanty part of the eyes, but we have that. And then we get the very neutral happy face, which is your standard Pikachu look. So those are nice, and they interchange really well. You can see they're almost seamless. The front pops off, and then you put a new one on. Very easy to do. Then we have some interchangeable hands, as if we really needed that, but it's nice enough that we do have them. So fist hands and not fist hands. So as you can see, if I can hold that with, I can't do it. Hold in there. There we go. The hands are almost the same. So that's why I said you don't really need them. Not if they were going to be executed poorly, which they kind of are. As I showed you, they don't look great. So, paint application on this guy. Almost none. The face is clean enough. Here's the thing though. Throughout this guy, we have all of these slightly sculpted features. So like the eyes have a little ridge around them. The paint's not quite lined up on all of them. This one, I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but there's kind of a gap between the sculpt and the paint. It's not a huge deal, but when a figure has almost no paint on it like this guy, I expect it to be a little bit cleaner. Same thing with the tail. It just doesn't look very good. So that's a bit of a problem for me. And the same thing with these brown spots. They're all kind of off center. Now, as far as the articulation goes, we have kind of like a ball hinge going on for the ears. So these can just basically rotate. Sure, they have a little bit of a hinge, but as you can see, there's no room for them to move. So they're basically just going to rotate around. The head, well, let's see if I can pop this off to show you. It's kind of tricky to get the head off on this guy unless you grab him from under the chin. So the head articulation is just one giant ball peg with minimal range of motion and a swivel. So that could have been done better, but it's okay. It's not a big deal. The head still moves a little bit. I don't know why it doesn't move back farther. I mean, he does go on all fours. He is a Pikachu after all. You can't do that because they blocked the articulation. There's a little stud in there that keeps it from moving. So the head is very minimally articulated and basically just going to rotate just a little bit of other things. Now we can talk about the shoulders. We have this weird kind of butterfly joint, but look, that's as far as it goes. Why does it have that big cutout if it can't go any farther? Same thing on this side. They blocked it off again. If it's going to be blocked off, why ruin the sculpt with that? You get almost no range. So you're at the perfect side position, and you want to rotate it forward. It goes only about 15 degrees. That's not worth it. Plus, you can't pose the arms anyway. The way they did this articulation, it's so dumb. It's terrible design. That's what it is. You can just basically wiggle the arm a little bit and rotate it. It's essentially a swivel. Why is the top shoulder itself not a ball peg? Or a ball hinge, I mean, I'm sorry. This whole top part of the arm should be a ball hinge, and that should connect to the butterfly if they want to use the butterfly, which I don't think it's necessary. You cannot raise his arm out to the side. That's as close as you can get it, and that doesn't look right, obviously. It's such a bad design. If that was a ball hinge, the arm would have full range of motion, and it wouldn't tear up the sculpt. This has, obviously, a smooth sculpt for the shoulder, but it doesn't work. It's useless. All you can do is rotate his arm just a little bit. He's going to be so minimally posable. It's so disappointing. Why? I know it wasn't an expensive figure, but it's the SH Figuarts line. They're supposed to be able to be posed. That's so bad. You're going to basically just have your Pikachu standing there. Maybe put his arm up with a fist like that. That's it. It's so not posable. It's so frustrating. And then for the legs. The giant ball peg, great idea. That works so well. You can move that around, no problem at all. The ankle being this kind of peg, not a good idea. I don't get it, guys. One big ball and a big socket right there would have been sufficient, which is what it looked like. I didn't notice it was an actual hinge, but it doesn't accomplish anything by being a hinge. It should just be a foot connected to that, because Pikachu's feet don't have legs. So you have to, what I decided to do is to push it all the way back and to kind of sink that kind of hip socket into the ankle so that it hides the joint just a little bit. And then it doesn't look quite as bad, but it's still annoying. And then the last thing, for the tail, we get this ball hinge kind of thing. It's not really a ball hinge, but it's effectively the same thing. So you have the hinge and you have the swivel, which is okay, except Pikachu's tail doesn't go like that. That's not accurate. It's supposed to go like that. But if you have him standing up, you can't bring his tail up. That's as high as it'll go. So you need to lean him forward, but then you can't lean the head very far back. So it doesn't work well. You're going to have to rotate it out to the side like that, which I guess is okay. It's just so limiting in the way they made this, where it connects. It's not appealing and it doesn't work well. We have this peg socket puffed out right there, and then the entire rest of the tail is completely squared off. That should be trimmed down so that it can actually come up farther forward, or bring this out some. There's everything about this figure. It just screams mediocrity. And if you're okay with that, then that's fine. You'll probably do like I did, and you'll buy it, and you'll have a decent enough Pikachu for your Smash collection. But that doesn't mean we should be happy with what we got. We paid for it, and they did not give us what we paid for. This figure is so poorly executed. What's the benefit of bringing the arms forward like that? You can, that's as far forward as they go, or like that. I mean, it doesn't really accomplish anything. It's so disappointing. If you just set him there in kind of a static pose and don't look too close at him, he's going to look pretty good. But that's not good enough. Not for the Figuarts line. That's the kind of stuff Hasbro does. In Bandai, you don't want to be like Hasbro. So last thing I want to do is show you the ears a little bit more. We have the peg that goes down in here that lets the entire thing rotate around. But they're on ball hinges. Normally, that's a good thing. Here's the problem. There's no range of motion the way they put this together. The ball hinge should be up and be part of the ear, just like with the arms. It doesn't matter if you see the ball hinge, because it's going to look like it's still part of the ear, and then you could move them around completely. Not just this super tiny amount that's essentially just a swivel. They took a figure that they could have made fantastic by just tweaking a few things and made it as lousy as they could get away with, and that's exactly what it is. It's a lousy figure that's not as bad as other figures, so people are going to like it. And I feel like most people are going to be like, Anthony, you're wrong. This is the best Pikachu ever. And I'm going to respond right now by saying, so what? Just because it's better than the static and lousy figures we've gotten before doesn't make it a good figure. Especially from SH Figuarts. It needs to be better. They need to do better. Especially for a line like Pokemon. It's disappointing. It'll do, but it's disappointing. That's my final verdict. Well, there you go. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see my upcoming figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.